Welcome to the Dreamlands. We are carrying on with the Artifact Cup 27 highlights. This is going to be Game 2 between Majiir Paktu and 10th Wave. In Game 1, we had a pretty interesting match, both players going hyper-aggressive, and Majiir Paktu just being able to edge out a victory with some very, very nice railgun play. So coming into Game 2, 10th Wave, if he wants to stay in this tournament, is going to have to bring out a victory. And by the looks of it, that is going to be one tough order indeed, because Majiir Paktu has rolled Knef, and on his favorite map for Knef shenanigans, we're going to have to see if he pulls his usual move that he likes to do on this map. It doesn't look like he's going to, because he's not recycling his production cruiser, so that's interesting. But let's get our bearings and see what happens from here. So it looks like we are, well, we're just going to call this north, because that's going to be how it is. Alright, so spawning in the north, we are going to have Majiir Paktu, once again rolling random and coming up with Knef, his preferred faction. Majiir has some very, very scary Knef plays, but coming off of a victory in Game 1, he's probably going to be feeling pretty confident. Pressure is not on, so that gives him a lot of room to kind of play around with a variety of different types of strategies. The pressure is on, however, for his opponent, who's going to be spawning on the south as the Coalition, and it is going to be once again 10th Wave. Played pretty well in Game 1, but just got a little bit too far behind in terms of aggression and wasn't able to get the correct tech out to counter Majiir's build. So the pressure's on for 10th Wave. If he wants to stay in this tournament, he's going to have to pull something out in this game. But it looks like both players playing fairly standard for the shallows. Majiir Paktu actually recycling his base runner. I would not be surprised to see him get production cruiser refinery mode, and there it goes. So 60 seconds on that. He's fully saturated his main. He's fully saturated already his first wreck bulkhead, and his second is almost saturated as well. So opening very, very greedy, which is something that is totally doable on this map. 10th Wave saturating his main as well as his first wreck bulkhead as well. Opting not to recycle his base runner, however, he is going to send it into mid and try and get an early artifact lead, which currently there is nothing preventing him from doing that. So that's going to be a nice little pickup for him, get him a little bit ahead in the victory conditions for this match, as well as give him some extra power to play with on his carrier. Just check out this base run. This map is gorgeous. I love this map so much. It's the most unique of all Deserts of Kharak maps, just because of the color palette. And typically you see lots of macro focused games on this map. Very rare to not see that, as a matter of fact. So what is this? Okay, production cruiser refinery mode is finished, so Majiir is going to bring his carrier out, and he's actually going double production cruisers. That's actually pretty ballsy. He's basically just going directly to 3 base. You can't open any greedier than this. So he's feeling pretty confident, and I mean, I don't blame him. He's coming off of a pretty concise victory in Game 1, so he feels like he can just do whatever the hell he wants. A little bit of scouting coming up from 10th Wave, so he's going to see what Majiir's up to. And if he decides to, he could probably send in a couple of AAVs to very good effect right now. None in production, however. He does have 1 support cruiser on the field, so he's gone up to 2 bases, has secured the first artifact of the game, and we do now have some sand skimmers coming out. A single sand skimmer just getting some scouting done, and heavy railguns in production for Majiir Paktu, which is a very good move, because if I was him, I would expect some AAVs to come in here, especially because he knows he's been scouted, and that would be a pretty good move from 10th. 10th, however, is just going to sit back and macro up as well, which is not a terrible choice. I can't see what tech he's got researching, because this replay in the series is from Majiir's perspective. So actually going to try and grab a second artifact, which is pretty cool. Is he going to get it? He probably is. I mean, he's going to get scouted by this sand skimmer, and if Majiir wants, he can make a play to try and shut that down. We'll have to see what happens. That one sand skimmer will not be able to put out enough damage on this base runner, and it looks like Majiir is going to move out. Let's check these units of his out. He has gone once again into a railgun composition, so a couple of assault railguns and a couple of heavy railguns passing right underneath that carrier. Oh man, that is so cool. We can see that the carrier has power shunted into the mobility support system, allowing these units to move across the battlefield a little bit quicker. And due to the speed of the assault railguns, it looks like they are going to get on top of this single LAV that was trying to screen for the base runner. Majiir is going to try and make a play for it. He's starting to pump out some railguns as well as some LAVs of his own. Going to try and screen with the LAVs and use the railgun as ranged fire support to help his base runner deliver this artifact. I don't think that's going to happen. There are just too many assault railguns on the field. They are going to immediately start focusing down the base runner. 10th Wave's railgun goes down almost immediately to the heavy railguns of Majiir, and this LAVs are slowly going to get picked apart by the assault railguns, and that's going to force the base runner to retreat with the artifact. Continuing to pump out railguns. We have any upgrades we do. We have the Magfield accelerator as well as an armor upgrade. So, pretty cool. 10th Wave is in a little bit of a tough spot though right now. He's already on the back foot. Almost all of his forces have been cleaned up, and Majiir is currently camping this high ground position here, preventing him from delivering any artifacts and also keeping him boxed in. Majiir now transitioning into producing some missile batteries, which is a very good choice, as well as a third production cruiser. 10th Wave continuing to pump out railguns. What is he going to do? He's got to be feeling the pressure at this point. Majiir has one victory already in the bag, and he has currently got total map control.
Missile ship online. Missile ship ready for service.
Double armor upgrades now for the heavy vehicles, and this is the proper choice. He's going to set his railguns onto this high ground position and screen with his AAVs. And with 2 armor, AAVs are very, very tanky. So he's going to be able to slowly creep out across the map. He's going to want to get a support cruiser pretty darn quickly though. Nicely placed turret down right in mid. That's going to help defend him from any assault railgun pokes. And just sending a couple of these AAVs over to push this scouting skimmer off. Missile ship on the field, going to take down 10th Wave's scouting drone. That will alert 10th Wave to the fact that there are missile batteries, or missile ships, pardon me, on the field. So I would be shocked. Oh, and he does have strike fighters, already 3 in the hangar. And with 2 missile batteries on the field, that is not going to get anything done, unfortunately, for 10th. So still on the back foot a little bit. What can he do? He can't go air unless he gets overwhelming amounts of strike fighters, which it looks like he might do. He's got 3 more now in production, soon to be 6 in the hangar. Able to slowly poke out. I like this move. He does have 2 turrets guarding the right approach to his base, a couple of AAVs parked there, and he's now currently sending a few AAVs around top to get a flank out on Majiir. Going to try and force him away from camping this high ground position. Very nice move. And Majir's actually coming through with his carrier. And look at the amount of railguns that Majiir has on the field. Nice smoke wall. Going to let those AAVs get right on top of the railguns. They are going to eat a barrage from the missile ship though. And they're just going to trade blows with these units. We do have 2 armor upgrades as well for Majiir Paktu's heavy vehicles. Majiir is going to grab 2 artifacts, actually, grabbing 2 base runners on the back of this map dominance, and they are going to catch 10th Wave's base runner out with some nice play. Look at Majiir bring his carrier up onto this high ground position. A risky move, because if your opponent traps you up here, you can't escape. But with the Knef carrier, this can be a pretty potentially lethal position for him. Strike fighters launched, they are going to be eating missile fire. However, there is enough of them where they can focus down one of the missile batteries and then continue to pour their fire into the base runners. One of the base runners is definitely going to go down, and Majiir's going to try and do a little push here, and that is going to get absolutely wrecked. Look at 10th Wave's macro, actually. This is pretty damn impressive. Huge amount of railguns. Majiir's actually going to push in here, and I don't think this is a good idea. 10th Wave has so many damn railguns here. This is not enough units to do anything, and unless we get some honor guard cruisers or siege cruisers on the field, Majiir's actually going to have a very, very tough time cracking this position. Very nicely played by 10th Wave. He's actually able to make a pretty sick comeback here. Oh, nice snipe though. Majiir's going to snipe the turret with the Knef missiles, which is a very, very good move. However, 10th Wave just has so many damn railguns, he's actually going to start focus firing Majiir's carrier. Going to force him into a full retreat. He's actually got to be careful here. And with strike fighters in the air, he's actually going to focus down the missile ship, which is a very, very nice move. That is going to give him dominance of the sky, allowing his strike fighters to just rain their missiles down on all of these railguns. However, with a sweet screen of assault railguns, that is going to actually force 10th Wave back completely, losing most of his railguns. Poof, what a battle. The Honor Guard cruiser is going to start eating missile fire as well. I think 10th Wave wants to focus that unit above these units. Personally, the Honor Guard cruiser is super threatening. 2 more missile batteries now on the field, so 10th Wave is going to start bleeding strike fighters, unfortunately. However, the AoE is going to be very nice on those strike fighter missiles. Going to take down the Honor Guard cruiser and put a bunch of damage on the surrounding assault railguns. And it looks like the game is stabilizing again and now spamming LAVs. This is a decent move. However, properly microed assault railguns with max armor upgrades can actually decimate LAVs pretty well, provided you micro them correctly. However, these LAVs will provide a screen for the railguns and eat a little bit of that fire. And Majiir does not want to let 10th get a footing here. Perfect. Perfect. This is exactly what 10th Wave wants to do. Do not try and fight the assault railguns with these. Send them in to clean up Majiir's basically completely undefended resourcing, and as long as 10th can hold this, he might be able to come back in this game. Pumping out railguns. This game, this map, pardon me, is very, very strong on defense. So if you can place your railguns up here, maybe even up here, and then just screen with some AAVs, you will be in a good spot. Big backstab coming in from those LAVs, 10th Wave. Going to focus the production cruiser, which is not a bad choice. They are definitely going to take that down. Going to force Majiir Paktu all the way back. We can also force him to build a ton of skimmers. 1 production cruiser goes down, and all of these LAVs have done their job. That's going to put a pretty big impact onto Majiir's income, and on the back of that, force his bulk of his army back. Now it looks like 10th Wave has a pretty distinct advantage on this side of the map. Majiir's going to have to be very, very careful. This number of railguns focusing down your carrier, wisely he is going to go into a full retreat. Very, very nice play from 10th Wave. That was extremely well done. Currently sitting at a 1-1 in terms of artifacts. A couple of blast drones coming out. Gonna try and get right into these LAVs. That'd be kind of a waste, to be honest. They want to get in the middle of all of these railguns. Perhaps a little bit of miss micro. Majiir just forgetting about them. And now 10th Wave's railguns are totally out of position, and the blast drones are going to come in, flanked by a wing of skimmers. Oh, both blast drones wasted on a single railgun. And with Honor Guard cruiser now pouring his fire into this battle, 10th Wave is just going to get overrun once again. However, he was able to do a pretty significant amount of damage to Majiir's economy and force him back. Majiir on the back of that fighting, however, has grabbed a second artifact, about to deliver it to take him into a lead at 2-1 in terms of artifacts. Honor Guard cruiser backed up by double missile ships. You're not going to want to send strike fighters in there. Now that 10th Wave has bled out his air forces a little bit, he is down to 3 strike fighters in the hangar. Looks like he wants to move out, actually, 10th does. That is a pretty ballsy move. Check this carrier out. He's actually got to be pretty careful. There is an Honor Guard cruiser there. There's a bunch of heavy railguns and assault railguns as well. He doesn't want to get his carrier overextended. I have to question if he's got... he definitely does not have power level 5, so he can't be trying to take this game on a nuke win. That's not going to happen. So I wonder what his plan is. Maybe he's got some battle cruisers in production. He does not. He's just spamming out railguns. Majiir Paktu is transitioning into adding assault ships into his composition, which can be pretty good late game. Looks like we got a 10th Wave is preparing a backstab of LAVs once again, swinging around the right side of the map while his carrier pushes forward. All power in weapons, backed up by a massive amount of railguns, and it looks like he's just going to go directly for Majiir's side of the map. He is going to shut this down completely. This entire ball of salvagers, as well as this production cruiser, are in grave danger. Going to be forced into a full retreat. Majiir Paktu actually grabbing a 3rd artifact, so he is up 3-1, and his forces are totally out of position. These strike fighters are going to get shut down completely, though. Total waste. However, with that flank of LAVs coming in, going to start focusing fire on the Honor Guard cruiser. Very, very nice move. And it looks like the railguns are just going to trade blows across the map. However, 10th Wave's railguns are in dominant position, and they are going to be able to clean up all of these railguns. The LAVs as well, swooping in from behind, going to clean up that Honor Guard cruiser, clean up this production cruiser and all of these salvagers, while 10th Wave's carrier just parks itself right in Majiir Paktu's territory and starts mowing down all of his salvagers. Looks like Majiir Paktu has lost almost everything, and his carrier is out of position big time. He's just sitting here with power in repairs, trying to regenerate his hull, and popping a few missiles as he can into 10th Wave salvagers.
Salvager online.
What a crazy game. What an absolutely crazy game. 10th Wave has turned this game around in a big way. And now Majiir Paktu is the one who is on his back foot, and in a very, very bad way. I don't see what Majiir can do. I mean, if 10th Wave just wants to push right now, he can end this. Majiir's going to try and get maybe a sneaky artifact win, but now that 10th Wave's carrier and all of his railguns are in this forward position, this base runner is not going to make it in. In fact, I would be shocked if Majiir's carrier doesn't go down right here, right now. So let's watch this final battle. Gorgeous cinematic glory. Majiir's not giving up, though. This base runner goes down. Oh, and we've got a cruise missile. Boom! Beautiful cruise missile. Cleans up those base runners and puts an enormous amount of damage into that carrier. Now with strike fighters in the air unopposed, 10th Wave is going to make his final push against Majiir Paktu, and Majiir's carrier is going to go down in a spectacular explosion. Fantastic game. I really, really enjoyed that game. I hope you guys did as well. Leave a like. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I will see you for Game 3. Congratulations to 10th Wave pulling it out in this game with some very, very nice plays and going to force a Game 3. So I will see you guys there.